Namaste, my name is Dr. Dipankar Kalita and I'm here to present a new vaccine strategy for 2021. Uh, why I started this project is because I think everybody till now in India and probably almost all over the world have been affected by the pandemic. Each one of us has seen some sort of active cases, very severe cases, and also probably some death within the family or closely related families. I was very much affected by this pandemic, so therefore I thought to myself what I can do, and therefore I teamed up with Dr. Minal Goel, who is a PhD, who has done a PhD from IIT Delhi, and Mrs. Tanvi Upreti, who is presently doing her PhD in Sweden in Linköping University. So the goal of this new vaccine strategy is to optimization of vaccine distribution system to minimize spreading of the virus and related death. So before I talk about how we can optimize the vaccine distribution system from the present system, I would like to talk about how the virus actually spreads in India, in fact. So the virus actually has come from abroad. It's not from India. And therefore, the first cities that get affected are the tier 1 cities with international airport, such as the Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai. And after it attacks these cities, it starts spreading within these cities. Beyond certain point, the virus then is transmitted from tier 1 cities to tier 2 cities like Guwahati, Lucknow through national airport or train stations, etc. Somehow this virus comes one way or the other comes to the tier 2 cities. After it starts spreading in these tier 2 cities, the virus slowly moves towards the small towns or medium tier 3 cities in Assam. Since I'm from Assam, I'm taking some example from Assam. Generally, the small towns are district headquarters in Assam. So it spreads to towns like Mongoldoy, Jorhat, Dibrugarh, Tinsukia, etc. After it has spread in these small towns or district headquarters, it slowly starts to move towards the village. Okay, and there is another trend that we should keep in mind is that the virus spreads from the market to individual homes. Okay, somebody goes for shopping to the market, and in the market there are a lot of people, and the virus actually catches someone who is doing the shopping, and when he comes back to the home, he affects his other family members who may not have gone out at all. So in general, in short, the coronavirus spreads from high economic zone to low economic zone. Here is a diagram to explain the same phenomena. So on top you have a tier 1 city with international airport, and from here you can see the tier 1 city is projected as red. Red means that it has been infected with the virus. Okay, and then after that, from looking at the arrows, you can see that from the tier 1 it goes to tier 2 cities like Guwahati, Patna, Lucknow, and from there the tier 2 cities it spreads to local towns where there is more communication between the tier 2 city and the towns. After that it spreads to the village. So this is an important diagram to remember, because our vaccination strategy will be based on this movement of the virus from tier 1 cities towards the village. So what is the present strategy? So how is the present strategy of distributing the vaccine? So at present we need to register ourselves. I'm talking about the age people of between the age 18 to 45 or slightly more than 45. So what they need to do is, first of all, go to the CoWIN application or online CoWIN website, register themselves, and then find a slot as soon as possible. And sometimes the vaccination also is distributed according to the population density. So the problem here with the present strategy is that virus do not spread according to the population number. Okay, number of active cases is not related to the population number, and also we found out the virus is not the number of active cases is not related to the population density also. In the first assumption, these two looks obvious. It looks that the larger the population, the more active cases. Larger the population density, more active cases. It looks like that. That's why we have the present strategy. But now we have enough data to show that it is not the case. So I will use some data from from Assam, because I'm from Assam. I know these cities properly and I have the data. And also please note that this data has not been updated since August 13, 2020. So I do not have the latest data. I could not find it in the internet. So I will use the data of the first wave to prove my point. Okay. Even if it is, if the data belongs to the first wave, it's still valid for the second wave, because the trend is similar. Okay. So mostly what I will take from this website, I will take the number of active cases present in each of these cities or district, and also number of people that have deceased in this part. So here in this slide you can see you can see on this fifth column and the sixth column active cases and the death, number of death. This data has been taken from the previous slide as mentioned before, and on the left hand side you can see the names of the city, and correspondingly I'm showing the population of the city that I have taken from Wikipedia. Population of people between 18 to 45, I'm assuming that it's around 50%. Okay, and the density also is population density is also taken from the internet, from mostly from Wikipedia. So now let's focus on the yellow regions that I've highlighted. So there are three cities: Nagaon, Bongaigaon, and Dhubri. Okay, what we can notice here is that it has one of the highest densities, population density in Assam. These three cities. If you look, for Nagaon is 11,275, Bongaigaon 11,186, and Dhubri at nearly 15,000 per kilometer square. But if you look at Guwahati, it has only around 4,439. Okay, so population density of Guwahati is much less compared to these three cities. But if you look at the active cases, okay, the active cases of Guwahati is much higher compared to what we see in this high population density areas from this city. So what we can learn from this slide is that number of active cases and death are not related to population density at all. Okay. Now same graph, I'm highlighting different parts. If you look at the highlighted Silchar, which has a population of 2.5 lakhs, okay, and let's look at Tinsukia, which is 1.3 lakh. This is so population of Tinsukia is almost half of that of Silchar. But if you look at the number of active cases, compare the active cases between Silchar and Tinsukia, they are almost similar. Silchar has around 1800, and while Tinsukia has around 1550. So very similar. In fact, the number of deaths of Tinsukia is much higher. Okay, and let's compare Tinsukia and Bongaigaon, which is in light yellow. Okay, they both have very similar population, 1.5 lakh and 1.3 lakh. In fact, Bongaigaon has more population compared to Tinsukia. Okay, but look at the number of active cases. Okay, active cases of in Bongaigaon are much less, and there is no death. Okay, so how is it that the Bongaigaon, which has higher population density, higher population, and also has much less active case of corona cases? So it shows that again here the number of active cases and death are not related to population number as well. Okay, so this is what we prove, that the spreading of the virus is not according to the population number and population density. So because we have a present strategy which is based on these assumptions, it will lead to a very much prolongation of the second wave. We are presently facing the second wave of coronavirus. It will prolong it. Even if we are starting the vaccine, so we are not going in complete lockdown. Complete lockdown is not an option for us, because not only the deaths are important, but also the economy of the country are also important. But if we continue with this present strategy, it will kill the city economy. The city economy or the country economy or the state economy, we will kill it, because if we keep the city or the cities, the tier 1, tier 2 cities for longer period of partial lockdown, it will lead to considerable loss. And the most important part at present that we are finding is that there will be a gap between the rich and the poor in the vaccine registration and vaccination given. Why? Because presently you need a mobile phone or a laptop to register for yourself in the CoWIN application, and then be constantly in update yourself till you find a slot for yourself to be vaccinated. And this is not possible for the poor. Okay? A poor man who has to work for his daily wages will not be in front of the mobile phone trying to find out if he can find a slot for himself to be vaccinated or not. This is not possible, and therefore most probably those people who are getting vaccinated who already have a mobile phone probably better off than the people below poverty line, and you will find that richer or middle class people will be more vaccinated compared to the poor people. Okay, this is one of the biggest concerns that we found in this present strategy. Finally, I will also show you that we will increase the possibility of third wave if we continue with this present strategy. So what I am proposing, what we as a team from our research we are proposing is that, okay, just to be sure that what we are proposing at this moment is for Assam, but is applicable for any other state or even the whole country. Because I'm living in Assam, I have taken Guwahati as an example, but you can remove Guwahati and put Lucknow here and it will still be the same. Okay, so what I'm proposing is that in the phase 1 we make complete vaccination of people of Guwahati. Okay, that doesn't mean that anybody who is living outside will not be vaccinated. Okay, anybody living outside during the phase 1 we will follow a ring vaccine strategy. Okay, I will explain what is ring vaccine strategy, or at least if there's enough vaccines we can vaccinate the people who are working in the bazaars of the smaller towns. Okay, if available, if enough vaccines are. In the second phase what we will do is that complete vaccination of the headquarters or the small towns, okay, which are present in the state of Assam. We will vaccinate that those people, and then we will continue to follow the ring strategy of people who are not living in the Guwahati or in the small towns, and people living in the village or any other town. We will follow the ring vaccine strategy. So the next two slides are the most important ones. Okay, if you understand these two slides, you'll completely understand the new strategy. Okay, the way to understand the new strategy will be to present the present and the proposed Assam model in side by side. So what happens is that here the cities are given either as red or green. Okay, red means people are not vaccinated. Okay, green means people have been vaccinated. Red means not vaccinated, means they are they may not be infected now, okay, but they are very likely to become infected very soon. Okay, there is high chance they might be infected. Okay, in the left hand side you see a proportional distribution system which is existing today. Okay, so here what happens is you are vaccinating, let's say, half of Guwahati. Okay, half of Guwahati. At the same time you are vaccinating half of a smaller the towns here, and then you are also at the same time you are vaccinating half of the village. Okay, so this is the present setting. So what happens during this time, only half the population of all the cities, towns and villages are getting vaccinated at the same time. Okay, in the other case that we are proposing is called targeted distribution system. Okay, so here means what we are trying to do is we will do complete vaccination of city like Guwahati initially. Complete, we'll only focus on the phase 1, complete the vaccination, and then we'll move to tier smaller towns and so on and on. So here, so what will be the effect of these two different strategies? So here if you look that the green part are the people who have been vaccinated. Okay, there is no problem with that. Okay, so but the rest of it are still likely to get the coronavirus. So what happens, these rest of us, even if it is 50% population of Guwahati, it can lead to huge number of cases. huge number of active cases, huge number of death. Okay, and at the same time, because there are a lot of active cases and death, you have to keep Guwahati or a Lucknow or any other city in a partial lockdown situation. Okay, and also because there are huge number of population who are not yet vaccinated, these people will act as a carrier to the new towns or villages. Okay, so this is where the third wave can be restarted. Okay, because the whole there's a huge population is not vaccinated. And when I make here, when I say 50% is just the exaggeration. Okay, at present, on 10th of May, 11th of May, the percentage of people who have got only one dose is only 10% in India. Okay, I will show you in the next slide. So 50% is just the exaggeration. Okay, so that means 80 to 90% will not be vaccinated in the big cities. Therefore, you need to keep a long period of partial lockdown. On the other hand, what happens is you vaccinate the whole of Guwahati. The people in Guwahati gets both the doses. That means there is very less likely chance of getting coronavirus. Okay, therefore you can you restart the Guwahati economy. Okay, you can open up Guwahati economy maybe in with certain restrictions, but at least you can open up without much problem. Okay, that means since Guwahati or the tier 2 city will be open, it will start contributing to the economy as well. And the other thing is that since Guwahati has been reopened, vaccinated, there are many towns which may not get infected at all. For example, here town 1, there is no transmission of disease from Guwahati to town 1. Okay, there might be few towns where they are getting infected. Okay, town 2 is infected. Okay, but in the second phase we will target smaller towns like town 2, where we will try to mass vaccinate everyone in town 2. Okay, here if you look at the right hand diagram, you are only making a partial or local lockdown in small towns. Okay, in the present strategy you have to make a partial lockdown of whole of a tier 2 city, which has a much bigger impact than making a partial or local lockdown in small towns. Moreover, since people in the towns live more further away from each other, the population density is much less, and therefore the likelihood that they will transmit to one another is much less. Okay, and it can, and here you can, in the right hand side you can see there are more green diagrams. That means people are less likely to get infected, and also we can restart the economy. So the next question is, how much of percentage of people are already vaccinated as of today? That is May 11th, 12th. Okay. So when I looked at the diagram in Google, and if you put vaccination India, you get a diagram something like this. Okay. So here I took this diagram on 10th of May. As of 10th of May, okay, people who have got one dose of vaccine is only around 10%. Okay, and fully vaccinated are only 2.6%, or let's say 2.8% by now. Okay, that means 90% or more are still likely to get this coronavirus. Okay, and many of them are living in the city. Okay, and the worst part of this problem is that in next 30 to 40 days, okay, please get this clear, in next 30 to 40 days, all the vaccine that is produced in the country has to go in in giving the second dose to this population, which is around 100 million people will get the second dose. Okay, but the rest of us will not get any vaccinations. That means in next 2-3 months, at max, the people who will get vaccinated by at least one dose will go to around 15 to 20%. Okay, that means 80% of Indians will still not be vaccinated. Okay, and which means the 80% of the population will still get affected by virus, more death, more corona active cases, and a lot of pressure on the doctors and also ICU beds. So in the proposed Assam model, let's see how we will, if we implement this, how is it possible to do it. Okay, let's see. So again, here I've taken the cities, the population, assuming that the population of people between 18 to 45 is 50%. So I have put roughly 6 lakhs in Guwahati. And if we need first dose, we will need 6 lakhs first dose. In the second dose, 6 lakhs. In total, 12 lakhs of dose in roughly 30 to 40 days. Okay. So in the first phase, if we get 6 lakhs dose only in Guwahati, okay, and another 6 lakhs in 30 days, okay, that means from day 1 you put 6 lakhs, day let's say 35, 30, 37, you get another 6 lakhs, you will be able to vaccinate all of Guwahati, and that means you will drastically reduce this 6,008 active cases within this big city. Okay, and the rest of the vaccine that can be used for ring strategy. So I talked about ring strategy before, so you can see it on this diagram here. So this person at the center with the green shirt, he is been affected by the vaccine, he has he is a corona active case. Okay, but before detecting that he has corona, he met few people. Okay, let's say he meet this 10 people whom he had met before realizing that he had vaccine. So in the ring vaccine strategy, we will only give vaccination to these 10 people, okay, so that these 10 people do not transmit to any other people, so it doesn't spread. Okay, because the vaccine production is limited, we will follow this strategy when in the phase 1 for all the towns or small cities that are existing, which is not Guwahati. Okay, and plus also we will give local isolation or local lockdown in these areas to avoid being spread. Okay, in the second phase, what we will do, we will take next 5 cities, that is Silchar, Dibrugarh, Tinsukia, Jorhat, Nagaon. Okay, so here we will need around 4 lakh on day 1. Okay, and then another 4 lakh in next 30 days. So within 8 lakhs of vaccine, we will be affecting more than 80% of the cases in Assam. Okay, 80% of the people we will stop spreading the virus by around 80% within 3 months from starting from phase 1. Okay, again here too we will follow ring strategy for those people who are living not in these cities. Okay, again then after that we can continue with the third phase, and if you look at the third phase, if you look at the number of cases and the number of deaths has already drastically reduced, because these are not very highly populated, not too much of economic activity going on in these cities. That's why the second wave will come down very fast. So as with any model, there will be some advantage and disadvantage. Okay, first let's talk about the advantage of this targeted strategy of vaccination. So firstly, we can restart the economic engines, that is the cities. Okay, in every economy, in every state, in every country, the city is the highest, plays the most important role in the economic activity. If we can restart the cities, the economy will not go down as much if we don't start the city. Then there will be significant decrease in corona cases in the cities. Okay, because the people of the cities will be vaccinated, there will be significant decrease, and therefore there will be significant decrease in the second wave as well. As soon as the number of cases will decrease, more ICU beds will be available, more oxygen cylinders will become available to the rest of the population. Okay, and also it means shorter duration of the second wave. Okay, and also we have to be prepared for the third wave. Okay, so the best thing we can do is either delay the third wave as much as possible. That means the more we delay the third wave, that means more people will get vaccinated. Plus there are also some nasal vaccines that are coming, which are much more effective and much more easier to easier to put it in the vaccinate other people. So as long as we can delay the third wave, it will be good for us. So what is the disadvantage of this technology? First of all, I'm saying it requires a huge political willpower. Why? Because you are changing the present strategy to a more targeted delivery system. Okay, so it requires, it's not within my say that if I put a good presentation, then people will change it. No, This kind of strategy has to be executed by politicians and policymakers, and frankly speaking, I do not have any connection to any of them. Therefore, I'm making this video and I'm hoping that this video will reach them, and then if they want, they can question me about this strategy. I can try to convince them, and I'm pretty much sure that this uh, targeted delivery system will work. Therefore, I'm making this presentation, and also it will require a police force while implementation. Why? Because you are vaccinating only certain number of only people within the city or the towns, and not from everywhere. It will require certain policing. Okay, not such a big deal, but it can be done. Okay, and there's an important thing to remember is that in this targeted delivery system, okay, the implementation of the strategy in the first month will be the most difficult. Why? Because you are vaccinating the city, which has a very large population. Okay, once you vaccinate the big cities, the vaccinating the smaller towns and the villages will become much easier later on. Okay, and although I have told before, although this proposed Assam, I have named it as Assam model, proposed Assam model. It can be replicated in any state in India and also throughout India. It's not a restricted. This model is not restricted only to Assam. I have taken this example because I am from Assam, and I know the cities, I know the situation much better here, and I do not want to make a mistake while making the presentation. This is why I have taken Assam as a example, nothing more than that. But it can be applied to all of India. Okay, all of India, meaning the tier 1 in the phase 1, vaccinate the tier 1 cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata, and the phase 2 probably tier 2 cities, phase 3 the district headquarters, and finally the villages. This will work for all over India. And I hope if you think this video is useful and should be implemented, I hope you can share it with as much people as possible so that it can reach the policymakers and people who implement these strategies. I hope it reaches the top. And also, please give me some suggestions. If you think there are problems with this strategy, please write it down in the comment section. And if you think there are certain modifications needed in this strategy, please write it down. I'm willing to modify according to the feedback I get. It's not something that I have thought it and it's perfect, although I have uh, talked to few people, scientists who thinks with whom I have done some modification, but I'm open to more modification. So please share this video, and hopefully we will not see a third wave, and we can bring down the second wave and win this battle against the pandemic. Thank you very much. Namaste.